reconciliation, peace and justice. The church is in Africa at the service of reconciliation, peace and justice. At the service of reconciliation, peace and justice.
Effective communication is very crucial in pastoral work, particularly when addressing audience. It's a challenge for pastoral communicators to have a mastery of the skills of public speaking so that they can convey their messages with confidence in a very impactful and effective way in guiding people spiritually and giving people spiritual directions. This is very vital, and hence public speakers, Catholic communicators, pastoral communicators must grab the skills. Sometimes we focus most on the content, on the message, but according to scientific evidence and other scholars in the field, it has been proven that only 7% of the message contained communication content. According to Albert McRaven principles, communication is conveyed through a 55-38-7 principles, where 55% is the physical presence without even saying anything. 38% is delivered through the vocal, and 7% only the message. So we must take cognizance of these 93% of the communication content or message, which is not focused barely on the message, but on the way that this message is delivered. And that is our discussion topic for today. In today's edition of the program, we'll give you 3 key ways that you can practice for 10 days using 10 seconds each day, and before you realize you have improved on your communication. The program is a church on social communication, the program that guides us on the use of the means of communication according to the mind of Christ, the perfect communicator, as taught by the church, directed by principals in the field and specialists. Accept warm greetings from the foot of Mount Fako, where DMS TV is reaching you every day on radio, on television, on its social media handles. My name is Singfred Senior Msonetata, your host. In a jiffy, we will come back and begin to unfold the little package we have gathered for you, which will guide you to be a perfect communicator. And remember, every success is an accumulation of little bits of efforts that people do not even see. But when it accumulates and reaches that final point, we are celebrating these efforts. So these small efforts will guide us to become perfect communicators. Stay tuned. We're back in a jiffy.
Peace and justice at the service of reconciliation. Peace and justice.
The first most effective way you can do or exercise you need to do in order to improve on your public speaking is to record and listen and watch yourself for 2 minutes. Just put on your phone, do not use the selfie, use the back of the phone, give an impromptu speech for 2 minutes and record yourself. Why is this very important? Some people have never listened to their voice. Some people have never sat to listen to themselves and do an analysis of their delivery. It allows you to hear your voice, assess your message delivery, identify the areas of improvement. You listen to yourself, the pace at which you deliver the message, the way you articulate and pronounce the words, your hand gestures, you see them, you do an analysis. You listen to your voice and ask yourself, do I like the way I speak? Am I conveying my message with confidence? Do I like what I'm saying? Am I synchronizing my hand gestures with what I'm saying? What about the pace? What about the pitch? What about the way I pronounce words? Am I articulating them, enunciating them, pronouncing them well? When you listen to yourself, you're able to make this analysis. So record yourself and deliver an impromptu speech for at least 2 minutes. My focus is not on the content, but on the delivery. So when you are recording, do not care so much about what you are seeing. Just deliver the message first. Deliver the message freely. You can write a 2-minute speech, record it, 2 minutes impromptu. When you record it, then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to do an analysis of what you have done. Now, let's come back again to the first one. When you record yourself, you're going to check out the clarity of the delivery. Are your words clear and easy to understand? Remember that for your words to be clear and easy to understand, you must pronounce well, you must articulate well, you must use a pace that someone can follow. Sometimes you may have to ask yourself, messages or presenters that you admire, what do you admire in them? Is it the way they pronounce? Is it their pace? Is it the tone of their voice? If you have never done this, you may not know what you yourself you do. It is easy for people to sit and critique or criticize what others are doing. But the moment you'll be put on stage to speak, you realize how long 1 minute can be if you've not done these practices. So when you listen to yourself, you will analyze and ask yourself, am I clear enough? What about my pace? What about my pauses? What about my volume and tone of delivery? Am I able to reach to the audience? You will become aware of all these habits, such as speaking too quickly or softly, or using excessive filler words. And then you can improve on the tone of modulation, ensuring your speech is neither flat nor overly aggressive. You know, there are some people who speak with the same monotony. It is a boring speech, just like taking the camera and showing only one thing for 10 minutes. People on the screen, they will not want to watch that. They want to see that there are also modulations. You must fall and rise, and you get to know what you call the message content. Do you focus on the content, the words that convey the focus of your message? When you listen to the tone of your voice, the tonality, your delivery, you see your hand gestures. The second thing that will guide you to know this better is to mute and unmute your recorded message. When you mute your message, and what happens is that you will not hear your voice. You will only be seeing the gestures. And then you will ask yourself, what is the positioning of my hands? Your hands must be, they call the neutral level when speaking. Your hands must not be behind or put them in your pocket or begin to wander with your hands on the air from one direction to another. In fact, the best way is to have a neutral position where your hands are open at the center and you are able to synchronize the movement of your hands with your words. You correlate them with the verbs that you use when you want to say, and the people express themselves and they were happy. Now, you also watch your facial expression. Are they conveying joy with your face showing joy? How do you convey sadness? How does your face look when you are conveying a sad message? You remember we always say there is no joy in the word joy, but you, the speaker, you put the joy in the word joy for people to see and feel the joy. And also remember that a public speaker is a translator of a type. The original existence of words is in the oral form, when it is written down and you are conveying it, you must put the life that you cannot find in the text, in the message. And this must be seen in the way you convey your message to make it impactful. Sometimes you will realize that when you removed the non-verbal gestures and you're listening to a message, it may be difficult for you to pick out emphasis. That is why journalists are always advised when you're covering someone or a speech or a bishop delivering a sermon or a priest, you must listen to that sermon and see where the emphasis are. Sometimes the emphasis may not be, when you read the text, you won't know where the emphasis are. But when you're listening to the message live, you will see the emphasis convey in the way the inflection is used on those particular, what we call the content words, the key words of the message, how they are emphasized. So you will see this. And then your hand gestures must be able to correlate, to synchronize with the words. When you are talking about he went up to heaven, and then, or he moved up and was able to come down to meet the people where they were and express his fulfillment about what he saw, we should see this somehow, as much as possible, being conveyed in the way you use your hands. And some people, unfortunately, they go and then they put their hands and stand, or put their hands in their pocket, or put them back. You see apprehension, and then you begin to hear it in their voice, the way they speak. And remember that when you speak with confidence, the last words are falling. How are you? That dropping, not chewing the words at the end, brings the confidence in you. We're not saying those who speak and chew words at the end, because sometimes when you listen to people speak, you hardly hear the last words. They chew it. And then pace is very important. You do not rush. When you follow a gradual pace, you are able to correlate your mind with what you are saying. When you eventually lose connection, you realize, particularly readers in church, they start rushing very fast because fear has come in, apprehension has come in. But normally it must be there, but when you prepare yourself very well and practice and take note of these skills, you're able to convey your message with clarity, with impact, and of course, the essence or the objective of pastoral communication piece is attained. Another aspect is body posture. Are you standing and leaning behind, or leaning in front, or bending? Their body gesture also communicates. And the best body gesture is for you to bring your chest and stand with confidence, not bending. And you will do this very easily when you are correlating and synchronizing your message with the movement of your hands in an orderly way. And the neutral position of the hands is to be open. When you close your hands, your audience unconsciously are saying that this man is not very expressive, or is not, and then that will go with your inflection, so that when the emphasis are being laid, your hands communicate the emphasis, and your facial expressions. And then another one, the use of, when you mute, you listen to how you are using, you unmute, you listen to how you are using filter words. Filter words are, as a certain mannerism in speaking. Sometimes just those filter words and mannerism in speaking can be very boring and make your message get missing. People don't get what they are saying because you have loaded your communication with so many filler words. When you listen to yourself, you will see, and you will not be comfortable with the so many number of filler words that you use, and then you begin to practice. And remember, I say, you take one aspect. When you take one aspect, improve on it 10 minutes a day for 10 days. Before you realize you have improved on that, you add another one. Remember that great success is a combination of efforts, little efforts that you make every day. They accumulate to make you a better speaker. No one is born a better speaker. You are born with the capacity to become a better speaker. And you can only learn, and then you learn Remember, if you do not sacrifice time to learn, you will not be able to have application which is with wisdom. They always say knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. There is knowledge. When you get the knowledge, for you to understand the knowledge, you must sacrifice time. When you sacrifice time, you will be able to apply the knowledge, and that level of application is where we call wisdom. So you'll be able to watch some of your filler words. When you unmute the video or the recording and focus on non-verbal components, once you have analyzed the content, mute the sound and watch your gestures, postures, facial expression, and be able to evaluate yourself and score yourself. Take note of what you are not doing well and see how to improve on this. And like I said, just take one aspect. One aspect. Take it, you can take hand gestures. How to place your hand gestures in a neutral position and practice 10 minutes a day for 10 days continuously, consciously. And then you will realize that when you record yourself and watch again, you see some improvement. We take a break, and when we come back, we discuss the last aspect of improving on our public speaking skills.
Some reconciliation, peace and justice, at the service of reconciliation, peace and justice.
You are just tuning in. The program is a church on social communication, and we are talking about public speaking for pastoral communicators, which is very important for us to deliver our message in a very impactful, in a very clear way, and convey our message according to our objectives, which will lead for us to be happy at the end that we have attained our desired objectives. Remember, we are talking about three aspects. You record yourself, you analyze what you have recorded by muting and unmuting to see and analyze your verbal and non-verbal component of the message. And then the third part is picking and improving specific aspect of the communication. And I talk about the gestures, the hand gestures, your body movement. You improve your hand gestures, put them in a neutral position, put your body posture in a confident position. And the confident position is for your body, your chest and your hands to project, but not in a dramatic way, in a very responsible and confident way that you are sure of what you are delivering. And the very most important is filler words. And I mentioned filler words with content words. What are the words that are the key words that are driving your message? There's a way you deliver those words. And sometimes I would like us to be able to analyze and pick out filler words. Sometimes our discussion is loaded by so many filler words that we are not aware of. We have a lot of as a matter of fact. You see, sometimes when we speak for 40 minutes, filler words are taking more than 25 minutes and the real message was conveyed with 15 minutes. It is because we have not prepared well. Once you don't prepare well, you will not know the right words to use to express what you want to convey. You must prepare well. And preparing well is the way you are respecting your audience. You don't take them for granted. You practice. Before you see someone who will speak in a very impactful and convincing way, the person has practiced. You take time and practice. And also you sacrifice time to know, to understand knowledge. You must burn the midnight candle, as they say. You must sacrifice time. And also you pay school fees to learn. Take time to learn these things so that you can become a better or always an improving perfect communicator. That every time they listen to you, they find out that something new has added in the way you deliver your message. Don't be there and begin to argue that that's my way of speaking. The way of speaking is supposed to be the way that people should hear you, understand you, the message should be impactful. Remember that Christ, the perfect communicator, delivered his message in context, out of the press of his people, without any compromise and with confidence, because he knew what he was saying. So we can build confidence by learning on these skills every time and improving on our pastoral communication. So it is very important for us to do this. And when we do this, we'll be happy with the way that we communicate. There's what is called functional words. Functional words are the verbs that we use and the connecting words in every speech. They can either help or hinder the flow of your speech. So overusing them can lead to monotony or lack of clarity. Clarity, how do you use functional words? Will be words like so, but, and, because, because. Be careful. Sometimes when you want to use them, the trick is always to, touch your body and then reduce them, the same as you reduce fillers. Use reduce fillers. If you eventually remove fillers from all your presentations, it becomes very impactful. And this comes with several practice. Because most often we focus on content. We don't think about delivery. Take time where you are. Practice the delivery before you go on stage so that you will be very impactful. So we want to get to know more of this. In the coming week, we are going to be organizing a public speaking seminar in the Kali University Institute of Boya in the course of our trade fair that will run from the 3rd to the 8th of February this year, 2025. And we are expecting so many guests. We are going to send out flyers to invite people to come for this public speaking conference, which will happen within the context of our trade and academic fair at the Kali University Institute of the Diocese of Boya that will be done by the School of Journalism and Communication. And with that, I think we come to the end of our program. My name is Singfred Senior. I'm Sonny Tata, who have been your host. If you did enjoy the program, keep the rendezvous for Monday. Stay tuned to Divine Mercy Radio and Television, sharing the light of hope, reaching you on your radio, on your television, and you can go to our social media platform and you'll be able to get the best of Christian broadcasts from the Diocese of Boya. Goodbye and God bless you.
The church is in Africa at the service of reconciliation.